What's good with y'all, boys? Welcome back to the episode of Round Cut Everything Sports Podcast. Today I'm going to break down my top 10 NFL teams. Now, your boy is a little banged up. Just had leg surgery, so that's definitely not, my best five right now. But I'm still going to break down my top 10 NFL teams for y'all boys. So, starting off hot, man. A lot of movements, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of switches. But for my number 10 spot, I've got the Cleveland Browns. Now, Joe Flacco has played quarterback for them for their last two games, and he's going for 282 yards and a 5-2 TD to IT ratio. So that's very, very good. But he has been downgraded to their practice squad due to if they were to keep playing him, he would be eligible for a contract. And they're not really trying to pay anybody else, considering that Deshaun Watson has a big hit on their cap already. But they still have a top three defense, no doubt about that. Still a great defense. And their next games are the Bears, Texans, Jets, and Bengals. So at worst 3-1, but at best they could be 4-0 going to the playoffs at 12-5. They're currently second in the AFC North, and they're still quite in that battle, no doubt about that. So I like the Browns a lot. I just wish they had a capable and competent quarterback, since Joe Flacco probably won't be quarterbacking for them in the future. Now, for my number 9 team, I've got the Los Angeles Rams. This Rams team is super, super good. I like them a lot. They're super underrated. They're 6-7 and currently second in the NFC West. Matt Stafford, last 3 games, got a 10-1 TD to IC ratio. He's playing great. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are both continuing to play well as well. They won 3 of their last 4 games, and their last loss came to a great Ravens team in overtime, which they could have easily won, but they lost 31-37. So I'm not too down on that at all. And their next games consist of easy Washington team, New Orleans, Giants, and then the Niners. So they're probably going to go 3-1 that stretch, going to the playoffs about 9-8. That'll probably get them to the playoffs in a week NFC side of things. So I like the Rams at number 9. My number 18, we got the Detroit Lions. This Lions team is currently 9-4 first in the NFC North. And I really, really, really do like this Lions team, but they're super disappointing. I mean, every time we want to get high on them, they do something that completely shuts it down. They could easily be on a 5-year losing streak right now. Close game with the Chargers, close game with the Bears. They should have lost. They were down by 12 with 4 minutes left and found a way to pull it out. They lost against the Packers. Could have lost the week before last against the Saints, and then did lose against the Bears. So this team is very disappointing. Goff, these last 5 games, he's got 5 interceptions and 4 lost fumbles. So, I mean, this guy has been known for his turnovers for sure, and he's been known to not be able to do too well outside of dome and outside of controlled climates. And their next 5 games or their next 4 games are pretty tough. They've got Denver, who's been playing pretty well. They've got Minnesota, who's not been playing very well. But then they have Dallas and then Minnesota again. So they could easily go 2-2, at best probably 3-1 in that scenario. In their last 5 games, they're allowing almost 30 points a game. So that's not good at all. I was super high on this Lions team. I thought every team deserves, one slip-up game that just happens in the NFL. You're playing back-to-back good teams solidly. So, but the fact they just, keep having these close games, could easily go on a 5-year losing streak. It's not very good. And Jared Goff is starting to decline a little bit. So I'm going to keep them at number 8. My number 17, I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars. This Jags team is currently 8-5 and first in the AFC South. And they are in the run for the number 1 seed in the AFC, considering that Miami and the Chiefs are struggling. But they're on a 2-week struggle themselves, losing back-to-back weeks. To the Bengals, 34-31 in overtime, and then to the Browns, 31-24. I personally don't think Trevor Lawrence should have been playing in this game, but he was, and they still lost. So kind of like a lose-lose week, in my opinion. Now, if they would have won, I think it would have been the right call. I still would have thought it was the wrong call, but at least he would have got something out of it. Now, they need to get back on track. And like I said before, they do have a chance for that 1 seed. They're playing the Ravens next. The Ravens are currently 10-3. And Miami's only 1 game ahead of them at 9-4. And their next 4 games are the Ravens. Like I said, if they beat the Ravens, they're on track. Then they have Tampa Bay, Carolina, and Tennessee. So they could easily go 3-1. I think if they do beat this Ravens team, they're looking at going 4-0, walking to the playoffs at 12-5. So I still like this Jags team, but I need to see them be more consistent and see them play better together. My number 16, I've got the Buffalo Bills. Now, this Bills team has been shaky all season, but they're just too talented. They're currently on a 2-game winning streak. A 1-game winning streak. 2-game winning streak. Just coming off a crazy Chiefs game that could have gone either way, but they walked in the Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Andrew Reid. So we got to give them credit where credit is due. They're currently second in the AFC East, only 2 games behind Miami. At first, there was a chance they couldn't catch Miami, but now since Miami stood up against a mediocre Tennessee Titans team, they do have a chance to catch them. Their new OC Joe Brady has really given them new life. I like that. Josh Allen is still turning over the ball a lot, but we see him throwing the ball away more. Not forcing things as much, and sort of letting plays die out where they are. So I really do like that. But they need to win out. Honestly, they do. They do play Miami on the last game of the season, so that could really, 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 be a big game for them. Their next games consist of the Cowboys, very tough game. Chargers, not as tough considering that Easton Stick going to be starting at them for the next foreseeable future. The Patriots should be no easy game than Miami. So if they go 2-2, it probably won't get the job done. But if they go 3-1 and they beat Miami, this team is going to make the playoffs and they'll be dangerous if they do get in. My number 5 team, I've got the Baltimore Ravens. This Ravens team is currently 10-3 and first in the AFC North and the entire AFC itself. They had a good OT win against a pretty solid Rams team, so we love to see that. And Lamar, he played pretty well. He had 43 attempts, 316 yards, and 3 TDs with 70 rushing yards and only 1 INT. And we thought that Mark Andrews' injury would hurt, and it did. But Isaiah Likely, their backup tight end, had 5 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown, and a big, long touchdown play as well. Odell Beckham Jr. had 4 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown. And then their rookie out of Boston College, Flowers, had 6 catches, 60 yards, and a touchdown as well. So the weapons are starting to gel. I love that Lamar, not discriminating. He's distributing to all 3 of his top guys, so we love to see that. And the next game, they've got the Jaguars, big game, tough game. 49ers, tough game. That's on Christmas Eve. And the Dolphins in Pittsburgh. So, if they're not careful, they can easily lose out. They could. You've seen this story play out. They start the season, 8-2, whatever, and then end up being 9-4 or 9-5. So I want to see them at least go 2-2. But anything else than that's just going to be very, very exceptional. If they can go 3-1 off their stretch, I'll be highly impressed. So hope if they go 2-2, 3-1 or better will be exceptional. So I'm keeping that 5 for now. And at number 14, I've got the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this Chiefs team is currently 8-5. 8-5 just sounds wrong. I'm talking about the Chiefs and Mahomes and Andy Reid and all them. But, that everyone's that's where they are right now. They're still first in the AFC West, but Denver is slowly creeping up them only a game behind at this point. And they split start the season, so that's not good for them as well. They just aren't the same. They just don't look the same. The receivers aren't getting separation. The young guys and Kadarius Toney just continue to have problems. Last week, I love what receiver has been doing, but that fumble was very costly, just was. And then, the play to Kelce, the throwback to Toney, touchdown. But Toney's offside. So whether it was a good call or not, he was offside, and that's just the way it is. The Rams have kind of been going against the Chiefs past couple weeks. Looked up the week before last, the Green Bay had the call, the no call. That was just plain PI obvious. But this week, Kadarius Toney is offside, and it cost them again. We're not used to Andy Reid's offense just making the constant mistakes over and over again, but that's just the way it's been going, the past through this whole year. Mahomes' first 81 starts in the NFL, they had 6 games where they scored under 20 points. They had 6 games, they scored under 20 points this season, so something's clearly wrong. It's obviously a receiving core, but, they had very similar weapons last year. They led the league in offense, they led the league in yards, and they led the league in points per game. So, obviously, the receivers are bad, but I think it also could be a Airbnb thing, and losing their offensive coordinator to the Commanders definitely hurts. But I need to see them, win out. I need to see them win out. Their schedule is very, very easy. The toughest game ahead is Cincinnati, and every quarterback they play the rest of the way is going to be Jake Browning. So, then, like I said, the next 5 games, you have the Patriots, Bengals, Raiders, and Chargers. So they can easily win out, be 4-0 going to the playoffs at 12-5, and still maybe be the 1 seed in the entire playoffs. So we'll see. But they're going to stay at number 4 for me. Now, for my number 3 team, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. This Philadelphia team is still very good. They're still 10-3, second in the NFC East now, coming off that Cowboys loss. But they really came off a 5-game gauntlet. Playing the Cowboys start us off, they won. Then they go on the road to beat the Chiefs. Then they play the Bills at home with the Bills. Then they lose their next 2 games to the great 49ers, and they get killed by the Cowboys again. So, I really, really, really like this Eagles team. Is hard. I mean, the NFL is hard. When you play a 5-game stretch at the top, 7 teams in the league, it's going to be hard. And the fact they went 3-2 is a pretty good sign for me. I really do believe in this team. And the next 4 games aren't too challenging. They play the dwindling and train wreck of a Seattle team that's really starting to fall down. They play Ben DiNucci, not Ben DiNucci, but Tommy DeVito, the Giants quarterback. Then they play the Cardinals and the Giants again. So they could easily go 4-1 or 4-0 at the worst. 3-1 and going so fast at 14-3 and at the worst 13-4. So I still love what this team is doing, but the 2 teams I had ahead of them are just playing too well, in my opinion. The number 2 team, I've got the Dallas Cowboys. They're currently 10-3 and first in the NFC East. Now this Cowboys team is by far playing the best. There's no doubt about that. They're on a 5-game winning streak, and Dak, your MVP front-runner right now, get him at plus 135, probably the lowest it's going to get. But his last 5 games got 15-1 to INT ratio. This man only has 5 interceptions the entire year. We asked him to change as a Dallas Cowboys fan. We asked him to change. I've always believed in him, and he did. He made these changes, and he's been getting the ball to CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Jake Ferguson. He is coming off 3 absolute heaters. He's been playing exceptionally well. So I love what I'm seeing from our offense, and our defense continues to play well. Didn't allow a single touchdown to a very good Eagles team. What I'm going to say about this team, if they would have lost in a close game against San Francisco, I would probably have them as my number 1 team. But my number 1 team, San Francisco, has just beat them too bad. Now the Cowboys' next 5 games, our next 4 games, are going to be Bills, pretty tough, Miami, pretty tough, Detroit, pretty tough, and then Washington is the easy one. So, worst case scenario, they got 1-3. Best case scenario, probably 2-2. This is a really, really tough schedule, but they're probably not going to be able to get the 1 seed because Philly's remaining schedule is pretty easy, and the 49ers remaining schedule is not as near as difficult as the Cowboys. So for now, they're going to stay at 2, but I'm very, very confident in them. And this is probably the most hype they've gotten in years, no doubt about that. And probably the most deserving hype they got in years. So I'm going to keep the Cowboys at number 2, but they're playing exceptionally well. For my number 1 team, I think it's unanimous at this point of the season about the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers currently 10-3 and first in the NFC West. There's no doubt about it. They've got a great head coach, a solid quarterback, and at each level, offense and defensively, they have Pro Bowl caliber guys. They're amazing when they're healthy, and we'll see if they can stay that way. This team plays a very physical style of football, so it's not uncommon for their top guys to get banged up. Trent Williams and Debo already this year got banged up, and we saw how they looked without those guys. And I understand, teams are going to look a little worse or a little off without their top 2 guys, but I don't think they have good enough quarterback to be able to withstand these significant injuries and still play comparable or capable football. Because while Brock Purdy is probably a little better than I thought he was, I still don't think he's that good of a quarterback. Or I think he's a good quarterback, but he's definitely not the MVP level quarterback. There's no doubt about that. I don't care what the odds and what the numbers say. If you take the game, we take, the eye test, he does make good throws, and I think he's a little better than I thought he was, so I'll go ahead and give him credit on that point. But, if they do suffer an injury here or there, I don't think that he's going to be able to take them to the promised land. But their next games are not that difficult. They play Arizona, should be easy win. And then they play Baltimore on Christmas Eve. That's going to be their toughest remaining game. Then they play the Commanders and then the Rams. So this team can easily go into the playoffs at 13-4, or maybe even 12-5. But anyways, that's my top 10, man. I appreciate y'all watching, and as always, tune in next time. Peace.